So you are a homeowner and you have your property ready to launch and get up on the market. You've staged it beautifully, you've cleaned it, your house is in pristine condition, you've even done a pre-listing inspection for a prospective buyer, and you are ready to go. And it is going to be going up on the market soon. Well, I will often get this question, Anita, what do I do when I get the notification that a buyer's agent is bringing their buyers through my house? Like, what do I do? Well, this video is for you. It's going to give you some tips on how to keep your house clean while you're living in it, especially if you have pets and you've got sports activities going on and you've got a busy schedule and the whole bit. So hopefully this video will help you. If we've never met before, my name is Anita Cordell and I make videos about Kansas City, what it's like to live here, what it's like to work here, where to go out on a night out on your date night, what to do on the weekends with recreation, and of course, I do cover the weather. I'm also a licensed real estate agent and a team lead of the Yellow Brick Group, and we help people just like you buy, sell, relocate, and invest right here in our amazing city. Why? Because there's no place like home. Now, before I start, I want to invite you to go down into the comments section below and be sure and write comments. It does help boost these videos, and it also helps other people who are watching the videos. They do go down into the comment sections and read those comments. So if you have something that has helped you out with your pets or your livelihood and when you're living in your house and have it up on the market that I missed, be sure and put it on the comments because I do read them. I do not have anybody full-time reading my comments and replying back. It is me, so be sure and comment below, and I would love to read what you have to say. And also, if you have a place in Kansas City that you would like me to cover in one of these videos, be sure and post that as well, and I will definitely put that on the docket. Also in the description below is my contact information, including a link that goes right to my calendar. And if you click on that link, you can schedule an appointment, and that will be the very first thing to do is set up a consultation with us. We'll talk about your real estate goals and then get you going on those goals. Now let's get into the video of what to do and how to live when your house is on the market. Now, one of the things I want to talk about is the fact that you have personal belongings in your home. Now, especially if you've got it priced right and you've got it staged beautifully, there could potentially be a lot of people through your home, especially if there's an open house and the neighbors are invited or what have you. What my biggest tip when it comes to personal property is to put it away. And yes, that includes your laptop. If you can take your laptop with you, that is actually even better. But if you can't take your laptop with you or your computer, then shut it down and put it away somewhere to where that it cannot be taken or it cannot be opened. The other thing about personal belongings includes the prescription drugs. Now, granted, most people do not walk through bathrooms and they do not walk through drawers and open everything up and take prescription drugs. However, if you have them, my suggestion would be to put them away, lock them up, and make sure that nobody can get them because you would not want any kind of accident at all when it comes to that. Now, this next subject I'm going to talk about is the cleanliness of your home, and a lot of sellers get really overwhelmed with keeping their house clean when it's on the market. Well, this leads me to a couple of different tips where you can use a schedule, like a daily routine and a weekly routine. And when it comes to daily schedules, one thing for sure you're going to want to do, especially if you've got kiddos, is to make sure that beds are made. Kiddos can help with this as well, but it doesn't have to take long, especially if you are in a rush. Buyers actually won't be able to tell. Even if you just throw over that comforter, straighten it up, they're not going to be able to tell that there's maybe an unstraightened sheet underneath of it. But if you can make it properly, that is one of the things to do. Make sure that you make your bed every day. One tip that I have after every single meal when your house is on the market and you're trying to really live in it and make sure that it stays tidy is after every single meal, make sure that you put everything away, tidy it up, and make sure that at the end of the day especially, you've got everything ready for the next day. Now, another tip that I have about cleaning is pertaining to bathrooms. One of the suggestions that I have is in every single bathroom that you have, go ahead and put your cleaning supplies in that bathroom. And the reason why is because you can actually go through and do a quick 1 or 2 minute clean up. You know, if there's toothpaste in the sink, you can hurry and pop it up. Have little baby wipes in your bathroom, or window spray, or some kind of cleaning supply in the bathroom under the sink. And this will help you doing those really quick spot cleanups, and it will help with not letting any of the dirt mount up. One of the things that I did with my kiddos when they were little is to set a timer, and this timer concept can actually be very conducive for if you are living in the property and you have it up for sale. And we would run around the house and we would straighten up pillows and we would pick things up off the floors and we would throw things away, and after 10 minutes you would be surprised at all of the things that actually got done. It's the same thing when you're living in your property and you've got people maybe potentially coming over the next day. Set a timer and have your family just do a quick decluttering and making sure that all those things are put away at the end of the night. Now, when it comes to kiddos' rooms, one of the tips that I have is to get a big basket, and in that basket, put all of the toys that tend to end up on the floor or misplaced or just don't remember where to put it. Have a basket in every single kiddo room and let the kids put all of those extra toys in the basket. And the reason why that is a good idea is because say you get a phone call and buyers are coming to the property to view it with their agent in say an hour, and you haven't yet prepared the house for the day, or say you've just finished lunch or something. Have the kiddos go into their room and pick up all of their toys and throw them in this basket and push it up against the wall or in the corner. There's nothing wrong with having a basket full of toys in a kiddo's room. It's kind of honestly something that is expected, and people don't think twice about that kind of thing. And what it does is it helps properties stay at least picked up, and it helps your kids feel like they are a part of the whole entire home selling journey. Now, one more tip on a daily basis is if you have a cat. If you have a cat, it is highly recommended that you scoop out the litter box at least twice a day. Yeah. You don't want any of that smell and odor and residual scents staying and lingering around the house. You want to get it out. Just get it out. Okay, let's move on to weekly schedules. Weekly schedules can be really great in the sense that, especially if your house is lingering on, it's been on the market for a couple of weeks. So on a weekly basis, you'll want to make sure that your house is vacuumed and that your carpet is picked up and cleaned. If there's any stains or if your animals have made any stains, make sure that all of that is clean. Now, when I'm talking about vacuuming, I heard this once from somebody who was a professional cleaner, and they make the rule that however many people live in the home, including pets, that's how many days in the week on a regular basis that a homeowner should be vacuuming their home. So if I have 2 people in my house, then that would mean that I would vacuum my house 2 times every single week. If I have 2 people and 3 dogs, that means 5 days. So you wanna make sure that you take into consideration how often your home is trafficked through. If your dogs are in the house all the time, then obviously they're bringing in dirt and whatever. So just take it as a case-by-case scenario and make sure that you just keep your house vacuumed. Then as far as the kitchen is concerned, on a weekly basis, you'll want to make sure that you clean your kitchen top to bottom. Make sure that you mop those floors and dust it, keeping it all straightened and narrow. Now, the cool thing is if you've been straightening it up every single day, then there's not going to be a whole lot to do at the end of the week. This actually pertains to bathrooms as well. You'll want to do a really good clean at least once a week. But again, if you are cleaning and tidying up every single day and getting those little marks off the mirror and the toothpaste out of the sink, it's not going to be that big of a deal, and it's not going to be a heavy load at the end of the week. The other thing is to make sure that you check for odors in your house every week, and also to, if you do have a cat, make sure that you give it fresh litter every single week. Now, if you are watching this video and you do have family members helping you with making sure that your property stays intact and there are little kiddos involved, you might want to consider something fun like a little chore chart. Your kids will absolutely love it, and they'll have fun, and they will be able to feel engaged with what is happening on this transition to selling the home. Now, this might seem kind of odd, but I think it is a fantastic tip, and that's to have a go bag ready. So what I mean by that is maybe have a backpack ready. If you're a young mom and you're watching this, you probably already have one or two. One could be for sports, one could be for the diaper bag or whatever, but have a go bag ready. And so what'll happen is when you get that notification, all you have to do is grab the go bag. There can be snacks in it, there could be an extra change of clothes, extra diapers, there could be your sports activity information, there could be a book to read, there could be homeschool activities put into this bag. There's all kinds of things that you can do. Just think of what you would need if you left for say 2 or 3 hours at a time, and then put that in your go bag. Now, some people actually go ahead and put it in their car, and then other times people put it by the door, and if they continually utilize items in it, then they won't necessarily put it in the car. But have a go bag ready, and that way you will feel a little bit more prepared, and it will be easier for you to get out the door with all the things that you need. Now, say you get that call or that text message and a buyer is coming and you've done all the things, your house is ready. What are those last minute things that can be done to make the house even more presentable? And I always tell people that there's 5 senses that need to be addressed or at least tried to appeal to when a buyer is coming. You've got sight, smell, touch, feel, and taste. This first tip when it comes to appealing in that is feel. We can feel stuff, whether it be touching and feeling, or we can feel it on the external. So make sure that your thermostat is set for a very comfortable feeling. There is nothing worse. Well, there's a few things that are worse, but this is one of the worst things. But there's nothing worse than walking into a house in the dead of summer and the sellers opted to not put the air conditioner on a really comfortable thermostat temperature. I've had buyers and myself walk through listings where it was vacant, there was nobody living there, and the sellers wanted to save money by not putting the air conditioner on at a comfortable place. And we walked in and literally the house was in the 90s. And when that happens, a buyer is so uncomfortable and their focus is on how their body is feeling, and they start to sweat, and I get comments of how hot it is, and then what happens is they lose the focus of why they're even there, and it's very difficult sometimes to help them to realize this could be where we could live because they're so uncomfortable. So my suggestion is to set the thermostat at a comfortable place so that when people walk in, they are comfortable and they feel at home and they're not having to battle the elements when they walk in. Now, unlike my husband, I love light. I have all my lights turned on in my house, usually most of the time, especially if I'm home, or not all of them, but you know, you get the gist. But that's the same thing when it comes to listing a home. You're gonna wanna appeal to the sight of people walking through and turn on all the lights. Also open up the shades and open up the blinds, make sure the windows show in their natural light. You'll want to give that really sunshiny feel where there's a lot of light coming through, because light does help with making them feel like they can be there and live there in that house. Now, another thing about sight and appealing to a buyer when it comes to sight and showing them features about your house is if your property has a fireplace that is easily lit with just a flip of a switch, go ahead and light the fire. It gives kind of a vibe, it gives an essence, it gives a good feeling, a homey, cozy atmosphere, and so you'll want to at least consider doing that. The other thing is listening. So some people will actually put on very soft music throughout the house. Nothing overtly offensive when it comes to the volume levels, but if you just put something on soft music playing, that will also help with appealing to the senses of a buyer. Another thing that you can do to help appeal to a buyer's senses is the fact that you can actually make sure all the pillows are fluffed. You can make sure that all of the remotes are put away, everything is straightened. There's even people that will go in and make sure that all the pillows look the same when it comes to how they're formed on the sofas. So just doing little things like that are going to actually help with the atmosphere, believe it or not. You might not know this, but when a professional photographer goes in and takes photos of a house, most of the time they will shut and close the toilet lid. The reason why is because it makes the bathroom look better, it makes it look actually a little bit bigger, and you don't want people to see an open lid, basically. So what do I suggest right now about that? Make sure that you go through the bathrooms and shut the lid. Close it up, close the lid. Yep, do it. Another thing that you can do if you have time is to make sure that all the trash cans are empty. Just walk through it, empty them out really quick, and then take out that trash out to the garage or wherever you keep your bin. Just get all the trash out of your house so that it looks a lot more kept and clean. And one more thing I need to address is buyer feedback. The reason why I want to talk about that is because oftentimes sellers expect for a buyer's agent to come in and provide feedback about their home after they have shown the property to their buyers. I'll be honest with you, you are not going to get 100% of buyer agent feedback when somebody comes to look at your property. It's just not going to happen. In fact, there are some agents now that refuse to give any feedback because they don't want to put their buyers in harm's way if they change their mind. Then there are some agents that are really great about giving feedback because, especially if the property is priced too high and the seller needs to hear it from somebody other than their listing agent, we as listing agents, we help each other out when it comes to things like that. We try and provide feedback when it's applicable, but I want you to know that you will not always get it. So don't get frustrated, don't get upset, don't get offended with your listing agent. Just know we can only control us. We cannot control other buyers, agents, or other buyers. If they don't want to give feedback, then that's okay. So just remember that if you are not getting an offer on your property and it's been several weeks, they're actually giving you feedback. It's just not in writing. So keep that in mind as well. So you'll want to make sure that your house is continually priced, straightened up, staged, and the photos are great and all the things so that your home will sell in a really good time frame. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it gave you some tips on how to live when your property is up on the market, especially if you have pets or sports activities or what have you. Be sure and give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and click the bell so that you get notified when I post a new video every week. Have a wonderful day, and as always, go out and live your best Kansas City life.